Sorry everybody, Xilicks here, and welcome to week 1 of the Elysian Draft League. If you'd like to skip right to the battle, click the annotation on screen now, and if you'd like to see what team I am bringing, then continue watching. So, our opponent is the Tampa Bay Rayquazas, coached by Demonic. They are bringing the Kartana, Volcarona, Gastrodon, Ditto, Togedemaru, Hydreigon, Cofagrigus, Lucario, Tyranitar, Manectric, Gallade. That was a lot. Okay, so breaking down the team, we have Kartana, very physically offensive threat. We have Volcarona, can set up sweep. That is also the Z-Mon, so it has the capability of using Z-Crystals. Gastrodon, bulky Mon, quad weak to grass though, which we can capitalize on. Ditto, which most of my team building is based around. The Togedemaru, which I'm not really worried about at all. Hydreigon can be mixed, mainly special attacking Mon. Cofagrigus, it's a wall. Lucario, another setup sweeper. Tyranitar, just a kind of bulkier Mon. Manectric, kind of fast, volt switching, stuff like that. And Gallade, which just another physical offensive Mon. Kind of slow though, so we can't capitalize on that. Starting off, my team, I am bringing the Landorus Incarnate this week with the Choice Scarf and only one attack. I'm running Earth Power. Now the reason for this is because if the Ditto does copy my Landorus, then I don't have to predict around it. He can only click Earth Power, and I have an immunity to that in Rotom Heat. So basically, if he ever tries to steal my Landorus, then I can counter him very easily. As far as my EV spread goes, I'm just running max speed so I can outspeed a +1, what was it? I think the Volcarona, whatever, he had a base 100 on his team that I wanted to outspeed. It's blanking me which one it is now. But yeah, I wanted to outspeed the base 100, so I'm running Timid so I can do that. With the rest in special attack to give the most power out of my Earth Power as possible, and then just a few points in defense, just for general purposes. Moving on, we have Donphan. Now looking at his team, he has the Volcarona, which is quad weak to rock, and does not have a Rapid Spinner or Defogger outside of Kartana. Now originally, I was going to run rocks on the Donphan, Stealth Rocks, but then I decided I wanted an Assault Vest, and obviously you can't run rocks with an Assault Vest. So the idea was, I'm not going to bring Rapid Spin, so that way if he does try to steal my Rapid Spin with the Ditto, then he can't spin away the rocks. But then I ended up not bringing rocks, so it didn't really matter. But yeah, as far as my EV spread goes, I'm running max special defense with an impish nature to boost my physical defense up a little bit, and the rest in HP with a small amount in attack. This spread takes special hits pretty nicely. It's not amazing, but I can take hits from things like the Cofagrigus and hit it with a knockoff. I can take a hit from the Hydreigon and Ice Shard it. I can potentially live a hit with the Sturdy from the Volcarona and then fire back a Rock Tomb and just Earthquake for general stab. It hits everything on his team except the Hydreigon, which is his only immunity. Everything else is either weak to ground or could potentially be immune with the Ditto. So yeah, Donphan's probably going to put in some decent work this match. Next up, I have Melodic, coming back from, what was it, Season 3 was the last time I had Melodic? Yeah, I think so. But running an interesting set. So I have the Haze to potentially stop setup from things like the Lucario, the Volcarona, the Gallade, even potentially like Cofagrigus or like a Cursed Gastrodon. So I have the Haze to block all of that, running the Marvel Scale ability in case he tries to status me, and then just Scald, Ice Beam as general attacking moves. Scald is pretty good against this team. His only immunity is the Gastrodon. Everything else doesn't want to take a Scald because of the risk of burn or because it's weak to it. And the Ice Beam to hit things like the Hydreigon, and I think just the Hydreigon actually. Yeah, because I wanted a reliable way of attacking that. As far as my EVs go, I'm running max HP, I'm running max special defense with a bold nature to increase my physical defense a bit, And if I do end up getting status, then I will have some pretty hefty stats I'll be working with. Next up, I have the Mega Venusaur. Now, I am required to Mega Evolve the first turn, or else I had a pretty interesting plan with the Ditto, but because I have to Mega Evolve, I'm just running a set that doesn't get 1v1'd by itself. So basically, if he tries to steal my Mega Venusaur, I can sit there forever and PP stall him. I don't want to have to do that, but I can if need be. The only thing that he could hit me with would be the Hidden Power Fire, and I will have more syntheses, that's a difficult word to say, than he will because of the way Ditto works. It only gets 5, where I'll have 8. Running max defense with a Bold Nature to take hits from things like the Kartana, and I can hit it back with a Hidden Power Fire. I can also Giga Drain for massive damage on the Gastrodon, and toxic things like my own Milotic if he tries to steal that with the Ditto. And also potentially toxic something like a Cofagrigus or a Tyranitar that might try to set up on me or just be generally bulky. I can toxic it to wear him down. Next up, I have Rotom Heat. Rotom Heat is critical to beat my own Landorus. I can burn it and he can't touch me. There's absolutely nothing he can do to me if he steals my Landorus, and I still have Ditto alive. I can just sit there and get leftover recovery and just burn things, or potentially Volt Switch to get initiative based on whatever he switches in. I'm running as much defense as possible with a calm nature, so I can take hits from both the physical and the special side. The ability to Will-O-Wisp will be nice for things like the Gallade, the Lucario, the Tyranitar, the Kartana, etc, etc, etc. Moving on, I have my Zmon, which I am actually running a Z Crystal this week, and a very interesting spread. Now, I'm running the knockoff just to get rid of items, the Drain Punch for a bit of recovery, the Ice Punch to hit things like the... what was it? Oh, my own Landorus in case that happens. And then the Grass Knot, so I can hit my own Melodic, because you never know. You never know. With the Grassium Z, and I'm running the weirdest EVs in the world. So I have fully max attack with the Brave Nature, and I'm running enough speed to outspeed max speed Cofagrigus, while also decreasing my speed with the Brave Nature, so that I have enough special attack to be able to OHKO or close to OHKO a Melodic with a Bloom Doom. Does that make sense? I hope so, because this is the weirdest spread I've ever done ever. Like, it just looks ugly. And then I have some points in HP, because why not? So yeah, that's my team that I'm going to be bringing this week. I'm going to skip over to the battle, and yeah, hopefully I do well. Alright, so moving over to the battle, we see that he has brought the Gallade, which I don't know what kind of set he's running on that. Could be Scarf, could be Band, could be Life Orb setup. The Cofagrigus, which we'll have to see what set he's running on that. Hydreigon, Ditto, Togedemaru, and the Volcarona. The only thing that really threatens me at Team Preview is a potential setup Volcarona with a good Z Crystal. So I'll have to look out for that during the battle. As far as my lead goes, I just decide to lead with my Landorus Incarnate because I can get damage off on just about everything on this team except for the Ditto, if he does that, or the Hydreigon, and I have responses to both. So starting the replay, he leads with his Togedemaru, and I decide I'm not going to overpredict, I'm just going to Earth Power, and I do OHKO the Togedemaru on turn 2. He switches into his Gallade. I decide, again, I'm not going to overpredict, I'm just going to go for damage in case he tries the Swords Dance, and I get a clean amount of damage off before the Gallade knocks me out with the Ice Punch. Now here, I go into my Donphan, and then double into my Melodic to try and see if maybe I can figure out what item it has, and I go for the Skull trying to burn it as he switches into Hydreigon, and I do get the burn on the Hydreigon. Now here's a questionable play where he paralyzes me, which actually helps me because it gives me the defense boost, and I go for an Ice Beam. I get a critical hit, which is unfortunate as the Hydreigon goes down to the burn. He goes into the Gallade, and I really have nothing to fear here. However, he paralyzes me and hits me with a very powerful Leaf Blade. So I'm figuring at this point, okay, he might be banded, maybe Expert Belt. I wasn't too sure though, and I decide I'm just going to go to my Rotom and try and burn it. He goes Volcarona, and I'm not too worried because I have a way to play around this. So I go for the Volt Switch as the Volcarona Quiver Dances, and I go into my Donphan. Now here I can guarantee live no matter what because I have Sturdy. And he decides to go for the Z Flying move, and luckily my Rock Tomb does not miss, and I knock out the Volcarona. He goes into Cofagrigus, and I decide to preserve my Donphan to see what he's going to do. And I switch into my Rotom and get a burn off as he goes for the Destiny Bond, which was pretty weird because I can't even get close to knocking this thing out. So he did reveal to me that he has the Destiny Bond, which actually makes it easier for me because then I can play around it later. I then Volt Switch into my Venusaur as he hits me with a Shadow Ball, doing a decent amount of damage. Not too much though, it's nothing I can't recover off, as he burns me with the Will-O-Wisp. Again, not a big deal, I have Synthesis, I have Giga Drain, so I can play around it. I just continue to Giga Drain the Cofagrigus, trying to weaken it. I am thinking about Pain Split in the back of my mind, trying to play around it in case he goes for it. Now here, I actually thought that he might go for it, but instead he switches into the Ditto and copies my Venusaur. Now, here I decided to sack off my Donphan, but instead he went for the Hidden Power, and he goes for it again, so I thought, okay, maybe he's Scarf? And then I decide to switch out into my Pangoro as he reveals that he's not Scarf as he goes for the Synthesis, and then hits me with a Giga Drain as I go for the knockoff to see what item it's running, and then I Ice Punch just to gauge the damage. It wasn't really anything. Then I go into my Rotom because I figure, okay, I have to status this thing or else it's not going to die unless I wear it down. So I hit it with the Will-O-Wisp, and I take a Toxic, which I'm not too worried about because it's just a status that it's not a big deal. I'm planning on switching this thing around a lot anyways. I just go for the T-Bolt to see what he was going to do, thinking that maybe I could overheat if he didn't recover after the T-Bolt and burn damage. But no, he did go for the recovery, which was the better play, and then hits me with a Hidden Power Fire. Now I'm not too worried about this because I'm just going to Volt Switch out here, which I do, into the Mega Venusaur of my own because I can just wall this thing indefinitely now that it's wasted a few of its synthesises. And I can just pretty much sit here and heal up on my own. No sweat off me because he's going to run out of Synthesis soon, which means he's either going to have to switch or let his Ditto go down, which just makes the battle easier for me to win anyways. He does decide to switch into the Cofagrigus, and I almost knock it out with a Giga Drain, leaving it on 7% HP after the burn. Now, I wasn't sure if it was going to be faster than me or not. I think I actually revealed early in the battle that I was faster than me, so I did misplay there by not knocking it out, and I ended up taking extra damage that I didn't need to take. But it doesn't matter because once the Destiny Bond wears off, I just knock it out with a Giga Drain the following turn. So now I'm thinking, okay, he's going to go back into the Ditto, but he doesn't. He goes into the Glade, and I decide to go into my Pangoro just to confirm that it's a choice item, which it is, and then I go for the Drain Punch as he goes into the Ditto, which allows me to knock it off and get some recovery back. Now here I make some questionable plays because I know at this point he's banded, and for some reason my brain didn't properly register that. So here I go for the Thunderbolt as I know I can take another Leaf Blade, which I do, but he gets a crit, which is kind of annoying. I die to the Toxic, okay, whatever. And then I go into my Pangoro because I was pretty sure I could live one, but he crits me again. I don't really know the damage roll on that, if I could live or not. But the smarter play would have just been to go Venusaur, click Giga Drain twice, and kill it. But again, I wasn't sure, maybe it was Expert Belt. I didn't think it was, but for some reason, I don't know. I misplayed. I could have had a 5-0, but instead we still won, just it was 3-0 instead of 5-0, which I will take at the end of the day. So yeah, that's going to be it for the first week of the Elysian League. Make sure to check next week to see the next battle or see the power rankings, which is either going to be on Wednesday or Thursday. I'm not sure yet. So yeah, see you guys next time. Cannings, bye.